All right, so been trying to get this interview for a while. Finally got it. I think that a lot of people out there that are into the peekaboo style, a lot of Mike Tyson fans of the gym, a lot of people out there, they know you from like the little clips online. Maybe you training with Fei and stuff, but they don't know you. They don't know who you are, like what your place is in the gym and everything. So I just wanted to give, the audience an introduction to you and everything. So, your name?
George Young.
Yes, and you were one of how many brothers?
Two brothers.
Two brothers.
It was me and two uncles. It was me, Greg, Gary.
And you guys were all about the same age, weren't you?
Yep.
Okay,
And then my two uncles, Rodney and Kevin.
Okay,
we
I
started
gotcha.
in like 79.
79. So what brought you to the gym in the first place?
There was an elementary school right up the street here, right out the door up the street, and coming home from school, and we had to pass the gym. And if you notice how the gym is laid out, you've showed videos in the front there.
Yeah.
But you come down, the door over here was open, and we heard noise coming out like a rough. And so me and my brothers came down the stairs, came in over there, and Cus was here, and Jerry Cooney was here training. I think it was maybe the Larry Holmes fight or a fight before Larry Holmes. I'm not sure.
Right.
But he was, training. He just got done training. And Cus seen us, and he told us to sit. We had to sit down. We sat on this stage right here,
Right.
all of us just to watch. And Jerry Cooney, I remember Jerry Cooney coming over to us, and he's a big, tall guy at the time. And you're like, I don't know if most people look at Jerry Cooney. So he kind of scared us and things. And so we're sitting there. But Cus, before they got ready to leave, he told us, if you guys want to come to the gym, in order to come here, you have to, do good in school. Number one, you had to listen to your parents. We had to. If our parents didn't want us to come here and to come around, they would that would be where we couldn't be allowed to come in the gym.
Right.
So we had to be good in school, at home, and then school, and respectful with other people in the school. We ain't going around because we're coming to the gym and we're boxing now.
You're not being rowdy.
Toughy guys.
You're not getting street fights.
Fight and pick fights in school. We couldn't do things like that. So. And he says, he would say that if we were here, if they're here, we had to be here. We were here like 7 days a week. And that's how I think Cus, now that I see, that's how Cus seen if you were serious. If you're coming here every day, no excuses and all that, unless your parents said you couldn't come or you had to do school.
Right.
Or you were sick, sick.
Yes.
And so we came 7 days a week. There was me, there was Darren, and Maine.
Right.
There was there was a bunch of kids in here, but the regulars and the main ones were like I said, Maine, Darren, me, my brother Greg, my brother Gary, my uncle Rodney and Kevin, and there was a couple of other ones that they didn't fight, but we were the ones that mainly fought. When we went to the city and fought, and
right.
He'd bring us because we were more, experienced, and he trusted us to fight, I guess, because the other ones weren't ready.
Yeah.
But there was kids in and out. But there was Jeff White too. When I came here, Jeff White was here, Billy White's brother.
Right, I gotcha. So what was that first interaction with Cus D'amato like, from what you remember?
Well, I just remember he was sitting there. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Mr. Shaniger or Mr. Colangelo. I can't remember.
Right.
But he was sitting with one of them, and I'm sure if you look in documentaries about Cus and all that, Mr. Shaniger, and it was Mr. Shaniger and Mr. Colangelo, Joe Colangelo.
Right.
But I can't remember. It's like vague things that back there. But what we did, we left.
And the gym was relatively empty when you got here.
Because back then. Besides Billy, Jeff, Billy was here too, but Jeff was really here all the time. He was here. He was one of where we learned from him too by how he had his hands. He's almost like a perfect with that.
Yeah.
And he
Yes.
had a
Yes.
fast jab. It was real quick. And
Yeah.
he'd do like a real quick. It was pretty good with the idea of moving the
Right.
head and quick and off the jab.
Right. Right. And what
But-
was your first time meeting Teddy Atlas like?
What's that?
The first time that you met Teddy, what was it like?
I don't know. We're kids, and we just it was like I don't know. I didn't even know who Teddy was at the time, so nobody. He was just starting to train people. Teddy was a fighter, when he came. But when we came, he wasn't fighting. It was just Kevin Rooney. Kevin Rooney was here at the time, and Teddy. A young kid, looking at something like that's another guy, big, something. So, but as we got older, and Teddy was, he was like a father to us. He took us out to get I think most of us got our license through him. Going to get a driver's test. He took everybody, and when we were old enough to get a driver's license, he took us to the road test. We practiced driving his
Right.
car. Yeah. And then we'd go. All of us would go after the gym, go to a pizza place, ice cream or something like that. And then we used to, when it was the birthday of somebody in the gym, we'd go to Cus. He'd get a ice cream cake from
His house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He'd take all of us up.
Now, did you guys watch any fight films?
Yeah, we used to go there to watch
I remember
fights
Darren telling me that.
Yeah, fights on
If it was your
videos.
birthday, you
Darren-
would get to pick
Yep.
who you wanted to watch, right?
Well, maybe Darren did at that
Yeah.
time. I didn't really, I don't know, because I'm probably older than all of them, most of them. I was basically the oldest, besides my Uncle Rodney.
Right.
I was the oldest. Darren's younger than me. Demain's Darren, my brothers. And so I was more, where I just wanted to work out and do the gym, and we go to the parties and that. Not that I didn't want to be there with Cus
Yeah.
or anything like that, but I didn't get into all that. Sitting and watching old videos. I didn't really. I did it because they all upstairs in Teddy's room. Because it's a
Yeah.
big room.
Yeah.
It was a big whole upstairs room. It's huge, and we go up there and watch. And, but I didn't do it all, watch it all the time. It wasn't. But I talked to Cus, in the book room. But as far as things that I remember him saying things, about being calm and all that,
Wait, you said that you got a
about
book from
fighters.
him?
Huh?
You got a book from him? Is that what you said?
No, he used to have like a little lounge downstairs where it's like a book reading. Where
Oh, okay, I got
it's
you.
where he would sit and read lights.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't in the living room with a TV. It was off another room, and he'd sit and tell us things like that, and about fear, all that, all the stuff that you guys hear, being calm, relaxed, and everybody's nervous, things like that. You hear it, but the words that we couldn't say in the gym was, can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. When you're told, to do this and do that, and I can't do that. I can't do it. And it wasn't a word. We couldn't use that word. It wasn't
Right.
allowed.
Right. All right. So what was your first year in the gym like? What was that experience like being here?
Well, when we first started, I remember seeing, there was guys in here, like one was, Alfredo Benitez was here at that time, and he was training to fight. Not too long after we started, he came here after Jerry Cooney, because I think Jerry Cooney left. We didn't see him train anymore after that when
Right.
we came to the gym.
Right.
So I think that was his last day there at that time.
Right.
But then when we started, within a couple of weeks, a week or two, Alfredo Benitez was here.
Right.
So, but Teddy was working with us. He started with us with doing the basic form. Getting your form with your feet and your hands and that, and we would do that. All of us. As people joined, we weren't all together at one time. Like I mentioned the names.
Yeah.
Darren.
It happened over time.
They
Yeah.
came in little by little, like weeks later, 2 weeks or a month.
Right.
That's how it started.
Right.
So, But me and my brothers were here, and then my uncle started later. You know, at first it started me and my brothers, basically me and my brother Greg.
Right.
My younger brother Gary, he was young, so he started a little later. When he seen us that we were in it, you know, and he started wanting to calm down and that. So, but me and Greg were the first ones to start, you know, basically. Then,
was it difficult at first learning boxing? Like, was it difficult? Were there times that you wanted
yeah,
to quit?
it was, yeah, you know, at that age and when we were young, putting things together. But it's more like you know, when we start, it was trying to get the you look like a newborn deer trying to get the form, and you know, you're gonna look weird and all. I didn't like the idea of certain things that we did, and it's like we're weird looking. But as you know, work with it and you'll grow into it, and you start developing a little bit better and then it gets where it's fun, you know. Then you didn't mind doing it, but there's things I had doubts in my head because the way I looked and all that, and my brothers and how we were looking, and I think, you know, we could do it. And so, but as you know, as the weeks go on, you know, you get more confident. You start picking things up, and then, you know, you're not going to learn it in one day. You know, it's not going to come that easy. You know, so. But Teddy worked with us like he was like our second father. That's what he was, like a father figure to all of us. You know, like.
And you guys worked 6 days a week, didn't you? You
7
trained
days. We were in here 7 days.
Right.
They told us, if we're here, you're here. That's what Cus would say. If we're coming here, you better be here.
Right.
If you're serious. You know, that's how he said it. So, but we came most of the time 7 days a week.
And what was the average day of training like? Like, what was a training session? What did it look like from start to finish?
First, it started with the basic form, trying to get that. You'd go that for a few months, you know, a month or two, a couple months, that I can remember. It was like, you know, and once you get the form, then we started off with the jabbing and that, we're trying to get the form in the ring and get your feet, and, you know, work with your feet and
sparring, jabbing and slipping.
You know, you got to develop a jab anyway. If you don't have a jab, you know, you can't. It's hard to fight.
But I mean, like, say you came in here, say you got the basics down and everything.
Yeah.
What would a night of training look like in terms of the rounds? You know, like, would you do 3 on the willy? Would you do 3 in the ring?
Everything was basically 3. We had to do 3 minutes a round on whatever we did. Jump rope, slip bag, big bag, the willies.
Right. Yeah.
They
weren't over here. They were on the other stage.
No, they were over there on that stage.
Yeah.
So, but we did that, and then Teddy would do the moves with us for the first, you know, few months. Month, 2 months, 3 months. I don't know. I can't remember it, but I know it wasn't a long time. But certain people probably a little longer where they had to work. But other than that, we had to come in here, wrap our hands. That's why I tell everybody here, when you get in there, you wrap your hands, and then you go to the jump rope, loosen up. The jump rope gets you loose, it's your blood flowing, and then you start working with everything else.
Right.
So we do 3 rounds, and then sparring would be we'd go with each other. That you know, the weights, you know, close to the weights.
Yeah.
Nobody had to be right exactly. There was heavier guys than, like me. I was small. I was like 60 pounds, 70 pounds. I was small.
Right.
And Darren and Maine, they were a little bit heavier than me, probably 80 pounds, 90 pounds, you know.
Right.
But you had to spar. You spar with them. You don't think about the weight and all that, unless there's 2, 3, 50, 100 pounds on it. You know, it's a different story. But we would all spar. We get in, spar, and, you know, do a lot of rounds. You know, it's at least 3. We had to do at least 3 with somebody.
Right.
We maybe I go with my brother Greg, then I go with Maine, Darren. You know, we all would.
And you guys would warm down with calisthenics. So at the end of the workout, you do calisthenics.
We do our sit-ups and push-ups and everything. You know, at the end.
Right. I gotcha.
You know, you want to be fresh when you're sparring. You don't want to be tired to go in the ring to spar.
Yeah, of course.
So you don't go to a fight tired, right? So you want to you're going to get tired. Well, if you know. But
I get what you're saying.
You would think.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. So you don't. We would have to hit the bag, work out. We can't just sit around waiting until we go done sparring.
There's no breaks in between
No,
anything.
so you
You're
just
going
you
through.
build your stamina up like you're being in the bag. Okay, you get your George, you get your gloves. You're going in next, and we get gloved up, and go in and out and switch with my brother or something like that, man, and then spar, and then we do. When we got done sparring, we go to the bags if we didn't do it before that.
Right.
You know,
gotcha.
you build your stamina by working, constant. Doesn't matter which way you go. You know, if you start sparring, doesn't mean you want to build your stamina. You go from that right out of sparring right up onto the bag.
Right.
You build your sparring. What's the difference? Which way you build it up? If you get tired on the bag, I did 6 rounds on. I did jump rope and all that. Now I got to spar. Well, hey, that's you got to work yourself through it.
Yes. Okay. So you said that Teddy Atlas was like a second father to you guys. Describe your relationship with him. I know you guys just butt heads a little bit.
Well, I was known as the stubborn one.
Yes.
I think they use that word, right?
Yeah.
Is that the word is used?
Yes.
A hardhead, one of them?
Yeah.
But my name from Cus, my nickname was Mighty Mite. But the only reason we said that is because, he used to tell Joe Colangelo, and Joe Colangelo to this day talks to me and tells me that. But because he told him back then, if I was a heavyweight, the way I fought back then. And he used to tell Joe Colangelo that. But I had the nickname Mighty Mite. So, I didn't feel like, certain things didn't fit me right.
Right.
And I would question it, and but they consider it like being stubborn, I guess. I don't know, question it. But if I don't feel right and it don't look, I'm not going to get into it.
You didn't practice it exactly how they taught it.
Yeah,
And they didn't like it.
Teddy had a temper. Okay,
Yeah,
and I experienced it.
Right.
Not too many other guys experienced the temper that I experienced. I got my ass kicked in the ass.
Yes.
After sparring one time with my brother.
Right.
Well, we were sparring at
Why?
the time.
Said something,
Well,
didn't do something.
yeah, I didn't.
I think you told me the story with the slip.
I'm not gonna go out, but I didn't do a certain way that Teddy thought I should do. Do things and that, and I kind of mimicked him and mimicked the and he got mad, me and my brother.
Yeah.
And so I did something, and at the end it came to where he took my gloves off and he said to get out of here, kick me out of the gym. That's
Right.
how it really came.
But he let you back in eventually.
Yeah, I had to come back and apologize. I think it was like almost a month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I don't know. I was afraid to go back. I don't know what he say to me.
Right.
Because he got really mad at me.
Yeah, right.
And
You're a kid.
The break room right there, or that was a dressing room there.
Yes.
And he followed me right. First, the glove went over my head when I was going out. When he got the gloves off.
Right.
I'm walking out, and as I go to get out of the ropes, the glove that I had flew past my head. And then I went over to that door to go into to get dressed, and he came running right behind me with his foot and kicked me right in my ass.
Oh my
and
God.
then he addressed me in there,
Right.
and said, and I but it was, I seen his temper. Really, he had a temper, but he didn't want to push his buttons.
Right.
He had a temper protecting us too. When we go to fights and all that, he would sometimes he'd get in arguments or almost
People lying about their fighters' weights and stuff, how many fights they had.
How many fights
they had. Yeah.
But because we went down a lot of fights down in
the Bronx.
The Bronx Apollo Boxing Club.
Yeah.
And he took us in the city, all in the city. We fought in Albany up here, a couple, Saratoga, but most of our fights were down in the city.
Right.
Manhattan, Harlem back then.
Right.
Back then Harlem and all them areas were bad. Bronx, they were bad areas. But Teddy, he knew people and all. So we'd go down there and fight all the time,
Right.
And there was times that, they'd lie. Nelson was the one that ran in Apollo Boxing. He's good. He would look out after us and all that, and get him, guys, he's got too many fights or something like that. People don't realize they fight down there. And if you don't have regular fights, and a lot of our fights they were
They were
underground. They weren't even
for
legal.
the people that don't know, these fights they were unsanctioned. They're called
they weren't
smokers.
sanctioned.
They're unsanctioned, so you don't
no
know
AAU or
Yeah,
anything. It was
you don't know
illegal.
what somebody's record is.
You don't know nothing.
Yeah,
and so you can't
just going
hide
for
it.
experience.
So
yeah,
well, you can't hide it now if you're U.S. under sanctioned.
it's
USA.
illegal. It's completely illegal now.
It was
you couldn't
basically what they call.
you couldn't get away with it.
So
now, yes.
He didn't want to overmatch us either because he didn't want nobody to get hurt, but they had to go to the emergency room, and then they're going to tell you where'd you come from, and then they go break into the, well, you're fighting, that's not, it's illegal. You can't do that. So he had to worry about that, Nelson, you know what I'm saying?
So you don't think that Teddy had it out for you? Or,
no,
you think that was Teddy, just the way he was? I don't think
Teddy, maybe, I don't know. And I mean, I don't have no bad feelings about Teddy.
Yes.
Teddy and Cus, especially Teddy got me to where I am now, what I did. If it wasn't for Teddy, I wouldn't even be in probably boxing or doing anything or having anything to do with boxing. You know what I'm saying? Teddy, I know I was at times a little bit, but I questioned things. I just didn't feel right with certain things, And you got to. You're not gonna. Everybody's not gonna fight exactly the same. It may not feel comfortable for you to do this or not work. But not that it wasn't that I did the I took the base. I kept the base. The base of it and the base of it, and added my own little spice to it and tweak little things here and there. Not really bad. Nothing really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea with that form. And me and Mike were like this. I was here before Mike. Me and my brothers, everybody, we're here about a year, at least a year, if not a little longer before Mike. I can't exactly remember. But when he came, me and him hit it off because I didn't know that he was, he started fighting because of Duran. And my idol, when I was fighting, I tried to mimic Duran.
So
but, with the hands up, with the hands up and try to fight Duran. That style. Come, an aggressive style. And me and him used to do, a lot of things, hang out, and because he liked the way I fought, and that's why he fought with me. So he learned from me a lot too. Or from me, because I was already here before.
You guys had experience over him.
And then he would watch me. He'd sit on that bench and watch, and he'll tell you, I know, Mom, I'm sure he would tell you that, me and him, we did things, people didn't know what we did. We hung out, we were tight.
So circling back, my last question for you about Teddy. So, you did things your way, sometimes you got into it, but he still looked out for you. Is there any advice that he gave you when you were younger, when you were in this gym, that you would consider impactful, like anything that stands out?
Well, I think because me and Teddy were like alike in kind, because the way he fought, he was he was his name it was a bulldog. I think
really?
something bulldog or something to the dog or I can't remember exactly. I think it was bulldog or something like that. So we were like two of the same guys and fighters and one.
Two sides of the same coin.
And so, maybe it was jealousy of things. Maybe I don't know. I'm not saying it was, but but me he never pushed me to the side. We would still go to fights, and he would tell me the same thing what I would have to do. What he would tell me in the corner. Same with everybody else. He treated everybody the same. So I don't think he had anything anything towards me. I didn't have it towards him. He's older than me. I think he was in his 20s, right? 25, something like 20 something.
I don't even think that. I think he was like 19 when he started training guys here.
Okay, so then close. I thought it was around 20.
Younger than me when he started training guys here.
Huh?
He said he's younger than me when he started training guys here.
So
I believe.
I know he was young. I thought he was like in his 20s, maybe. Maybe he was a little younger. I can't, because I was younger. I'm a lot younger than him.
Right. So, what was your first smoker like? The first time that you had a smoker, your first fight.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Can't even remember? You don't remember the
It was in
experience?
a Apollo Boxing Club.
Yeah.
Apollo
Were
Boxing
you
Club.
nervous? I mean...
Oh, you're always going to be nervous, but once you get in there, you ain't got time to be nervous.
Right.
Cus used to tell us, and Teddy,
Yes.
the hardest part, especially Cus, you know, he was more of a, and Teddy would
Psychological,
follow with things, you know, with his way but I remember Cus saying that everybody's, you're going to be nervous. You can't say you're not nervous or you're not afraid, you know. You have to overcome that, you know. It's like you let the fear, you know, how he said it back then, you know, but you're always going to be nervous. Did you say somebody says you're not afraid or nervous, especially nervous, not so much being afraid. Being afraid and being nervous probably a little bit different.
I like to say it's the difference between being
I'm not afraid.
nervous
I'm afraid I don't want to go in there.
Nervous and intimidated are two different things. Yeah.
Everybody's nervous, and if they don't say that, they're lying.
Right.
But you have to overcome, you know, like be where you don't, you know, take over, you know, take your emotions and all that over. Right. You know, you got to stay calm and relaxed. If you stay calm and relaxed, you can go a long time. Right. Calm, relaxed. So it's getting in there. Yeah, I was nervous. I mean, but I didn't tell anybody. I didn't show nobody. I mean, you know, you feel it, but you just try to block that out. And then once you get in there, ain't got time to be nervous. And now it's just, you know, you gotta fight.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Okay. So, were there any standout fights in your amateur career that you remember that maybe taught you something or that were interesting to you that, you know, just kind of stick out?
Well, the only one
How many fights did you have?
125 amateur fights. 125.
So yeah, what were like the standouts?
Probably would stand out because it's I got a silver medal. It would be my Empire State Games. I fought in Empire State Games in 83. And now they don't have them no more. It was like a mini Olympics, you know.
Right.
Olympics,
Yes.
you know, it was nice. Yeah. Mike was in it too.
Yeah, there's a
Did
video
you see
of
the yellow
it
shirt and all
there's
that.
video of it. Yeah.
But he was in it. Not the year I was in it. He didn't fight in it that year.
Okay, I gotcha.
He fought later.
Right.
Yeah. So, but the first, I was the only one that fought in him with Teddy.
Okay.
But Teddy wasn't a trainer. He couldn't, because they have a team, like the Olympics.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Interesting.
I can't remember. I thought I went with one of the guys. I was bunked up it was in Syracuse.
Right.
And I was bunked up with, I think it was Vince Kittle.
Yes.
That used to fight in the same hotel room.
I gotcha.
But I got a silver.
Right. Were there any smokers that stood out?
Oh, I'd say, well, it stands out, but I won, but it was an incident when I got kicked out.
Oh,
I got kicked out of the gym.
Yeah.
And I came back. I apologized to Kevin, Teddy.
Yes.
About a month, somewhere. It was not real quick.
Yeah.
So I came, had apologized to him, and I got in the gym. I was no longer, maybe not even a couple of weeks in the gym, because I was already boxing and fighting then at that time. And so it was no matter a couple of weeks back in the gym. We went down to the city. I think it was in Harlem, that one was.
Yes.
And I fought a guy I fought before. His name was Angel. And I fought him before, and I won. But then, and Mike Tyson, because they did it illegal.
Yes.
Mike Tyson was the timekeeper.
Really?
They had him be the timekeeper. They had families, you know, or people that are upcoming, a professional fighter.
Right.
He would be in the ring as a referee. You know, it was Ronaldo. What's it? I think it was Snipes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was Yankee. He was a Yankee guy, pinstripes and all that. When he was coming out, I remember that. And he was refereeing.
Yeah.
And I fought this kid before, but I haven't been in the gym that long.
Yeah.
So I went down there. Well, Mike was doing the timekeeping, and I don't know what round it was. I wound up where I didn't do no road work.
Yes.
And I was sitting on the ropes, and I remember throwing punches, and I caught the guy, buckled his knees. I couldn't get on him because my legs were tired.
Yeah.
And then Mike made the time go longer. He wanted me to stop the guy, right?
Yeah, right.
I had nothing. So he told me this after. He goes, I gave you an extra 30 seconds, 10 seconds, he gave me extra time, put it that way.
Yeah.
Try to, not stop him or something. But I had the decision, but it was, like I said, I kicked out of the gym and I was tired,
Born in as good a
yeah,
shape.
so
Yeah.
if that's what that's.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. All right. So, what was your first time meeting Mike like?
Well, he's just a kid. We're all kids and that. But
Yes.
when we really sat down and really talked,
What happened?
was in that room there after working out one night,
Yes.
and we go in. Me and him going to get dressed, and it was summertime.
Yes.
And it got dark at like 9 o'clock. So
Yeah.
we were done at 6:30. By 6:30, we're done
Right,
working
right.
out. And so we go in there and get dressed, and I go to Mike. Mike, let's go find some girls, right? They'll hang out.
Yeah.
And he goes, nah, girls. Well, your career
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And all he wanted to do was train and go home and watch videos. That's all he did.
Right.
That's it. So, but when he said that to me, he said the girls are my, what happened years later.
Yeah.
I guess the advice that he gave me
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't work.
Right.
He didn't take it, I guess.
Right. Right.
But hey, man, no. But yeah, that was one. When really where we started talking. But we hung out, and I don't know if
You can say whatever you want. I don't care. You can say whatever. You can swear. You can say whatever you want. I don't care.
No, I'm not swearing. No, I'm talking about where we went out, and when I told you about nobody knew what we did.
Yes.
You want me to tell you things like
Yeah.
that? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we used to go every now and then and smoke weed.
Yes.
You know that he smokes weed and what he did.
Yes.
So, but we didn't smoke when we trained, when we came in the gym and all that. It'd be like on a Friday night or something like that. I had his license. He couldn't drive.
Yes.
So Cus would let him hang out with me because I'd bring him home from the
Right.
So we went to my buddy's house where I worked. I worked for Catskill Chrome at that time.
Yes. Yes.
And then my buddy's father owned it and
Yeah.
worked for him. So we went there he used to have parties.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a bunch of people over there. Just people
Little
at the
get
house.
together.
And
Yeah.
his girlfriend at the time, and
Right.
me and a couple of other guys,
Right.
with PDH blasting on his big speakers, and then videos on the TV.
Yes.
And the jars would be, because my buddy would roll joints about the
Yeah.
size of our thumbs.
Yes.
With some real, it was skunk weed. It smelled like, it was weed and actually like a skunk pissed on it. That's
Yeah.
what it smelled like.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know he smoked. And he goes, oh, you smoke? And he took that. I remember him taking the big blunt. It was a joint, but it was like rolled like the size of my thumb. And he took a hit on that, and he looked like a professional. And he was young, and and so he did this French inhale, like a big cloud of smoke coming out of his mouth and right up his nose as it was coming up. And like a professional, yeah. So there's, like I said, we did things, that people didn't know. We didn't brag about it. But I mean, it wasn't like we did things that we smoked before we come in the ring and start sparring. It was like times that we wasn't working out, or after a fight. If we had a fight and we went and came, we take a few days off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we do it then. But we
Do
didn't
you think
smoke.
that Cus or Teddy knew that you guys were doing that stuff?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Not even Teddy? You don't think he caught on a little bit?
No.
Yeah.
No. But
Interesting.
like I said, me and him, he almost wrecked his Cadillac Seville. Well, that was later on because
Yes.
Teddy wasn't here then.
Okay, I got you.
With that, no, with the weed.
Yeah.
That was with Teddy. I think Teddy was here then.
Yes.
That was Teddy was here, but we wound up getting in his Cadillac Seville that he bought. They bought him back then.
Right.
And I was a licensed driver. He had a permit then.
Right.
And me and him, I had to take him out, and then he was driving out to Freehold, and I had
Yes.
my girlfriend, which became my wife later on, and my son's
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
But we were going out to see. I said, let's take a ride out to Freehold, and he's driving this brand new Cadillac Seville, the white, and he had a white one, and
Right.
you know, if you look at the probably document, it's the white car that they bought.
Right.
Well, anyway, I was sat in the because I had the license, and we were coming around the corner, and I said, Mike, slow up over here because this is a bad turn. It goes right around. And he goes, no, I got this, and something like to that effect. I got it. And he going fast. He come around the corner, and it spun around like this, and we spun around and went off into a ditch and almost hit the tree. He's lucky he didn't hit the tree. We backed out of it, and he was nervous, but he was crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
He didn't want to listen to nobody.
Right.
I told you, the term that's coming up is really bad. He goes, I got this.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But he had that brand new nice Cadillac Seville back then.
Right. So, did any of you guys predict, how successful he was going to become? Did any of you guys figure that was going to happen, or was it a surprise almost?
When he came here, we sat over there, and in the ring, not here.
Yeah.
I don't know who else sat, but I remember sitting over there. It was a table over there.
Yes.
And so being over there and watching.
Right.
So, and it was, just watching a little guy beat, punch and hit a big full-grown man.
Yeah.
And then, Bobby Stewart. So we just watching.
Oh, you watched the first time he ever sparred?
Yeah, when he came in here to.
Oh, really?
When
didn't
Bobby Stewart
think-
brought him here
Right.
for Mike or Cus D'amato.
And did you guys not think much of it, or were you like, damn?
No, it was like, no, we don't know. I didn't know.
You can't tell it's his first time.
It was a kid, yeah, because he's younger than us, younger than me anyway.
Right.
I think he's 2 years younger than me.
Right. At what points did you guys start to see that he was going to go places, Or for you at least. At what point were you like, yeah, he's probably going to go places?
Really? I didn't think of that way, like that. I didn't think it like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think we were just fighting.
You just viewed him as another member in the
somebody
gym.
in the gym and fighting.
Right.
Didn't think that he's going to be. We're trying to worry about trying to go somewhere ourselves.
Yeah, right.
Wishing him like he's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But he couldn't fight in a lot of places that we fought because nobody would fight him.
Right.
So we went to shows where he couldn't get a fight at that time.
Right.
So he would have to fight in nationals, and that became.
You didn't even think any of it, like when the camera crews were coming in here and stuff, because I know you guys had a camera.
No, they didn't come in when he was little. They came in
like
when he got a little bit.
Like Junior Olympics, like leading up to the Junior Olympics and stuff.
What year was the Junior Olympics? Because I don't know when. I can't remember when Teddy left.
It's like 1982. Teddy was still here, but there was a camera crew in here that was filming a lot of what you guys were doing. For that documentary, Watch Me Now?
There was a crew in here that taped a documentary of Billy Ham.
Yes.
And then it was.
But it wasn't that one though. It was, or maybe that was the same one.
And then there was another one. Billy Ham. There was another one. A kid named Mike.
Yes.
He was
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Then the camera crew came there.
Right.
The camera crews. I don't think they started coming until.
Were they in here a lot?
No, not that I can remember. They only did that. No, they didn't start coming until after Mike. Got. I guess when, fighting in the nationals and getting. But I think most of that time was.
Right.
I think the gym was broken up when he started fighting more in the nationals because
Right.
Teddy wasn't away.
Yeah.
Teddy was here with us. He didn't go away.
Yeah.
But that's when Cus wanted him to,
I understand. Yeah, right. So, what was it like when Teddy left the gym? What happened to the atmosphere in the gym when he left?
I think the gym like kind of died because I stayed as long as everybody else, you know, they, maybe that's why I stayed. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I stayed. I worked with my dad during the day out. And my dad was a mason. He laid blocks. I had to mix it. I was a laborer for him, masonry. Out with sun all day. Come here and work out. Nadia was here at the time, and we weren't going to no fights. Nadia used to follow with her car and take guys in her car to go to the city. She, you know, follow. But she didn't train anybody. She didn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to go to that, but Nadia was here. And so I wasn't fighting. I'm coming after work, 4:30, getting here, working until 6 o'clock, 6:30.
But that same environment is just gone.
There was nobody here to spar. I wasn't
gone.
sparring. I wasn't going to fights. So I eventually just stopped myself. I can't know how much longer I stayed than everybody else, but it had to be at least a month.
You think that environment is important for a boxer?
What's that?
Do you think that type of environment is important for a boxer? You know, where you have all those like-minded people with you, where you kind of have that team environment.
Because you don't have...
less intimidating.
It used to be, there was, like I said, we had Darren, Maine, my brothers, and there was people that we worked and spar and fight. You know, when you go in there, it's not, you go to sparring, but you're fighting.
Yeah.
Unless somebody, you know, the coaches or whoever has something that you got to work easy and things like that.
Right.
And that, but other than that, you train. Me and my brother, I try to knock my brother out.
Right.
I try to hurt my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you have to have control. If you see there's a difference between a fight, is that you have to control yourself. Where if you hurt somebody in the gym that you're working with, you see the knees buckle or your eye roll back, and then you give him, you back off, and then you either just, Teddy would just say Joe jabs, you know, just jab, just work your jab, work on your form, and that, you know, just so he wouldn't say, you know, like get the other guy, you know, like, you know, thinking that he's, you got to try to help him, you know, like where you don't, you know, so, but other than that, I would try to knock my brother out until I seen that.
Right.
That's how you got to train in there. I don't care. Unless you're told differently to work with the guy.
For you, the most important thing was having good people to spar all the time, basically.
Yeah.
You just, iron sharpens iron. You just get better faster. You know, you need good people like that.
Yeah.
And you didn't have that after he left.
So when you train, whatever you do in there is going to carry in a fight.
Yes.
Whatever you how you train and how you do things,
Right.
it's just going to carry over. You're not, if you hit the bag light, you're going to be one, unless you become the Hulk when you get to a fight. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, but a lot of people were kind of mad at the situation, though.
Yeah. Well, there was things we heard.
Because he's like a second
I heard
father
things
to you
later
guys.
on after the gym broke up from my uncles. My uncles was witness things, you know.
Yeah.
Overhearing things.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into, you know, what, but people didn't agree with things.
Right.
That's, you know, and why things happen.
I heard that some of you guys came in here and took your pictures down that you had.
Yeah, we had pictures all on the wall.
Right.
I didn't take none of it out. You know, there were papers from cuttings from the Daily News and all that. And we're all of us.
Right.
But I don't know where they all went, but I just kind of left, and we left them on the walls and all that. When everybody left, they didn't take their stuff, you know that.
Right.
So I don't know where all them pictures went.
Right.
There was a lot of pictures of us from when we were younger, when we fought down, you know.
Do you think that one of the reasons that some of the other, because you guys were, for the most part, everybody at the Catskill Boxing Club back in the day, you were all pretty successful in the amateurs, most of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were all very successful.
Well,
gym.
like I said, it was just like maybe if it might be a little bit more high that were here, that were from around the area, not people that came from, you know, guys. There was guys that come, you know, different people that came, that people sent, and Cus worked with and Teddy worked with, fighters, you know. But just general around here, I would say maybe 10 people, if that 10 of us, maybe.
Like consistent, but there was more people
Like I
coming
listed,
in and
you know,
out.
but there was more people that would come. They weren't as serious.
But they weren't
They would
fighting,
spar.
fighting.
They would spar
Yeah.
and all that, and they weren't as good and all that. But they would spar and do things. But they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, the way I look at it now,
Yeah.
Teddy wouldn't. You know, didn't want nobody to get hurt.
Of
So
course.
this way he wouldn't put him in the ring.
But point being, I mean, I think that a lot of people, they don't quite recognize. They think that Mike was the only person that could do the peekaboo style. But you had people in this gym that were
we
pretty
all
good
taught
at
this the same idea, the peekaboo. But like me, like I said, you're not going to have everybody fight exactly the same.
Yeah.
But the
And not
peekaboo-
everybody that did it in here looked
no.
just like Mike.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. You're not. They're not. You're not.
But you were
we
successful
all were
in your
taught
own
the
way.
same
though.
way
Yes.
with the hands up and then moving
Yes.
our head.
Yeah.
There was other things I was taught. Maybe you use things to your strength, what's going to
fight to your
benefit you.
strengths, yes.
If you don't feel comfortable with that, why you're not going to do something that you don't feel comfortable with?
Yes.
You might tweak it. And try. It shouldn't be that much of a change, you know.
Yeah.
The feet, where I change my feet
Right,
a little
right.
bit, it's not drastic.
Yeah. Where I'm going with it though, I guess, is that you had people in here that were successful in the amateurs, very successful, and they didn't go as far as Mike. Do you think that was because of Teddy leaving, or do you think that was because Mike was just so much better? What do you think that came down to?
I think there was other guys that could have probably had potential. Like if I stayed, like I said, Cus talked highly about me to Mr. Colangelo. You can talk to Mr. Colangelo about how he talked to me. If I was only a heavyweight, he told Joe. I told you.
Yeah.
That's how I fought.
Right.
I was aggressive. You know, peekaboo is not for everybody.
Yes.
It's not just because Mike fought peekaboo. He fought an aggressive style and all that, and they called it peekaboo with Mike. Mike made the peekaboo, you know, but the Cus taught Jose Torres and Floyd Patterson to peekaboo.
Yeah.
But if you look at them, it works better for an aggressive fighter.
The point being, a lot of you guys in here, you did the peekaboo style, and you looked good. But what exactly do you think it was that held some of you back? Do you think it was because you didn't have that trainer anymore, or do you think it was because Mike just had talents?
They quit. They basically, when Teddy left, they stopped.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was the only one that stayed.
And Mike was probably the most obsessed out of all you guys.
Yeah, because he stayed, and he stayed, and he did what, how he was taught and all that. You know what I'm saying? You know, he did. He stayed. He's the only one that was out of the class back then.
Right.
That stayed, didn't quit. Graduated.
Yeah. Did you guys go to any of? Were you in particular? Did you go to any of his fights live or no?
Yeah, I did a couple of them. I wasn't in the gym, but I went to the fights.
Did you get to see him win the title or no?
No, it was a regular fight.
But leading up to the title, so like 85.
It was like maybe.
Would have been 85, 86 if it was in
He
Albany.
fought in the Albany,
Yeah.
the Egg at the time.
Yes.
I went to that one.
Yeah.
But I think I was out of the gym then. I went
Right.
and seen it just to see it.
Right. Was it just you, or did you go with
Just
anybody?
me.
Oh, just you. Okay.
And so, but
Did you get to talk to him after the fight?
Something, if we want to go back to the
go ahead.
with another thing with me and Mike, that experience with Mike.
Yeah.
I told you. Did I tell you before about the? He was in a national tournament. We were in a national tournament. I can't think it was in a. I don't know. Maybe
I don't think I've heard this one.
It was in a where it was me, Kevin Rooney,
Right.
and Mike.
And you all fought on the same card, right? Is that what you said?
It was a tournament.
Yes.
I make a joke about it with they pay for everything.
Yes.
We get there, we get a hotel room,
Yes.
and there's only 2 beds in the room.
Oh, okay.
Remember me telling you?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
You can reiterate.
So there's only 2 beds in the room.
Yes.
But back then, I guess they had cots. You can ask for a cot at the front desk, if you need something. I didn't know about that.
Right.
So Kevin Rooney wasn't getting sharing a bed with nobody.
Yeah.
So you know what happened? George had to share a bed with Mike.
Yeah.
I slept on the bottom, with his feet, and then, you know, that way. But he didn't sleep that much anyway. He was in the shadow boxing all night, freaking in the mirror.
Mike was up shadow boxing all night.
He didn't sleep.
Wow.
He maybe slept maybe an hour or two. I don't know. I can't remember, but I know he wasn't. I kept mirroring in the freaking bathroom, you know, moving and, you know, doing things.
For a professional fight?
No, amateur.
Or for amateur, because you...
It was an amateur fight. It was a national tournament.
Yes.
And I think it might have been in Ohio or somewhere. I can't remember, but.
Right. What was his work ethic like compared to the rest of you?
But I tell everybody, hey, I slept with Mike Tyson.
Oh my!
I make a joke about it.
Oh my God!
Slept with Mike Tyson. I slept with his feet though.
Yeah, of course.
He didn't sleep anyway.
Yeah. What was his work ethic like compared to the rest of you?
No, he worked hard. He did. When he was here, he worked. You know, he did it. He came in and did his work, and whatever had to be done, he done. You know, especially I can remember him doing. I did them, but I didn't do it the way he did them.
Right.
The neck bridges.
Oh, well, that jacked up his back, I'm pretty sure. That's why he had to get surgery.
You know, hands and that. I did them that way, but,
right.
You know, he used to do them really, you know, with, I'd have my hands balance me a little bit, you know, where I didn't fall.
So, what was your life like after the gym? And describe your first experience, you know, returning and becoming professional.
Oh, well, I'll go back. I quit because I wasn't fighting.
Yes.
Coming to the gym, working out. Quit.
Right.
So I was like 18, going to be 19, somewhere around there, and I wound up quitting. Mike, you know, as he became a professional, you see him on TV. So as the fight's going on, I'm out doing things I didn't do when I was younger.
Yes.
Partying.
Yeah.
You know, doing at the 80s. You know the style then. It was
yes.
being out in the clubs, cocaine then,
yeah.
smoking weed, cigarettes. I'm
yeah.
doing, you know, cocktails and hanging out.
Yeah.
For all them, because I didn't do it when I was younger.
Yes.
So I'm doing things that I didn't do before. And so I did it up until Mike left.
Right.
When they had that problem and Mike went with Don King.
Right.
I lived right around there, right over here.
Yeah.
And with she was my wife then.
Right.
That was the girl that I was going to see back then, became my wife at that time, with my son.
Right.
We lived right here, and I said, hey, I think I'm gonna. My son was like maybe a couple years old, maybe a year.
Yes.
And I said, maybe I'm going to go over and try to maybe start fighting again, turn pro. I'm not fighting amateur. I'm going to make, I don't want to fight with no damn trophies. I'm going to do it. So I turned pro.
Right.
So my uncle tried to be my manager, Kevin Young, which he used to box with us at the time. Tried to be my manager. He made a match in Gleason's for me and my brother Greg. My brother fought a guy named Jake the Snake. I can't remember who I fought, but he was a southpaw. And southpaws are, they're awkward. If you don't train for them and know where the punches are coming, they're very awkward. So I only fought one in the amateur time, and that was for going into the Empire State Games my second time.
Right.
I fought. It was named Todd Ostrander, I think remember his name there. Todd Ostrander. And it was a 4-rounder.
Right.
And it was in Gleason's. I mean, I can't really exactly remember how I felt, but it was just like, I was nervous, you're always nervous when you go into a fight, but other than that, I did pretty good for being off 6 years. 5 to 6 years, and I did pretty good for a 4-rounder and a southpaw. I didn't get the decision, but that was my first loss. I lost my first fight. You don't want to lose your first fight when you start off. But I was only in the gym for maybe 2 months.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, how do you come back from that? Do you just think to yourself like, oh, well, I did decently for what I was given?
Yeah, for the time that I was in the gym, I was like maybe a couple of months training, and I took 4-round fight in Gleason. You know, Gleason's are well known back then.
Yes.
The gym back then.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I got my first loss. So, you know, you don't want to lose your first fight, but it was a loss. I didn't get beat, but
Right.
you're not going to get a decision in front of a home crowd of
Yeah.
this thing if you don't really beat them. You know what I'm saying? If you don't beat them decisively, you're not going to get the decision.
Of course.
So it wasn't like he beat me up or anything like that. It was all right, but we went 4 rounds and I lost the decision. So my second fight, I wound up, my uncle's being my manager. He set me up with, you probably most people would know, Junior Jones. And it was his pro debut. And I was in here training with Calvin Seabrooks at the time.
Yes.
He was a WBC champion. He just lost his title to Orlando Condozales at that time. And he's up here working with Kevin and Cus to, so he can, matter of fact, Cus wasn't even alive, that's right. Cus passed. I came back after Cus had.
Right.
So it was just me and Kevin. Kevin was here at that time. So I'm an aggressive fighter. I come forward. It's more, you know, peekaboo, the style, you know, you can use it, but Mike made it, and, you know, to, you know, more of a, you know, the style itself, because of an aggressiveness.
Yes.
So, but you can use things, you know, for the peekaboo, for other, you know, boxing and that, certain things of it. But, so I was always an aggressive fighter. I had to cut people off, and then, you know, in the gym, my brothers, whoever it may be, I would cut them off, pressure them. So, Junior Jones, if you watch some of his videos when he first came out, he came out of the amateurs as 159 fights, only 9 losses, 10-0 in international competition, like that's in different countries, 10-0.
Yeah.
And if you look, you know, if you see him, he looked like a miniature Tommy Hearns, the A-frame and all that.
Right.
You know? So, to me, he looked like Tommy Hearns.
Right.
But anyway, so up until that fight, I was feeling like different, like, you know, I'm more nervous and something like not right, you know, all the way up to that fight, going down. It was my anniversary that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I was, like I said, I was married then. It was in the Trump Castle, Trump Castle in Atlantic City. It was it was under the undercard of Gene Hatcher back then. It was Gene Hatcher.
Right.
It was undercard.
Right.
So, is another thing where if the main event went quick, I was the first spring belt, and that means TV time, to kill the TV time because it was on TV.
Yeah.
So, well, you could see the fights down in the you know, dressing room and all that, and then as they were going on, so I know it was going to be the fight went early. So now I'm on TV. So now that's pushing more, being nervous and all that. Meanwhile, Kevin comes down and tells me, "George, how you feel?" Yeah, I'm not gonna tell him I don't feel, you know, I feel a little nervous. You know. I said I feel good. And meanwhile, in my head, you know, I'm a little nervous and something not, you know, like something not right about the fight.
And you said you took, what did you take to calm?
Oh, I took 2 aspirins. I used to take aspirin, Barry aspirins, a couple of them.
Yeah.
During training.
Yeah.
It thins out your blood. You know, it makes us blood circulate. So I used to take them, not every day I train, but, you know, every now and then I take it.
Right.
I used to take the ginseng. I shot of the ginseng in the thing, you know, but I didn't do that night. I just did aspirin because, you know, to relax me and all. But I think I got, you know, 2 relax and 2, you know, were. So Kevin comes in and says, I want you to box this guy, because he got the flyer outside. They gave out a pamphlet and telling about the fighters and that. All the way up to that fight, we had guys coming to my camp and watching me, knowing that, and they were worried about him because they were trying to build him up. They didn't want a loss.
Right.
And me coming out of the Cus, I was the only one to take him on for his pro debut. So everybody else passed him down, one fight him for pro debut. Me and my uncle takes him. Oh, we'll take him. Well, it's first fight.
Right.
You know, see, that's where you don't have a good manager. He should have looked into the fighter and all that. I'm
Yes.
coming out of a 5-year, 6-year almost retirement basically,
Right.
and partying. I did things I didn't do when I was younger. So I was doing all that stuff, hanging out until 25. I came back at 25. I tried to Kevin basically didn't think, he said, oh, he was like scared, nervous, He wanted me to box. He says, I want you to box this guy. I said, all right. I want to listen to, Kevin, he's telling me, I'm trying to listen to my coach, train in the corner. So he had me hit mitts.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hit mitts and box, move around like a boxer. I'm not a boxer.
Yeah.
So me not thinking like that, like, why do you want me to, I'm not a boxer, Kevin, what do you have me, but trying to, do what he wanted,
Right.
and try to, so basically coming down like, run.
Right.
I'm not a runner. But so he had me do mitts, trying to work on boxing, and anyway, go up to the, go to the fights, go up in the ring, and they announce him as Poison Ivy, Junior Jones, and his nickname was Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
And so I'm over there, and I said to myself, well, I'm Calamine Lotion, right? So I was nervous, but you don't, once you get in there, I was more nervous before I got in there. In Atlantic City's Trump Castle,
Right.
people, and then, man. So, I'm being on TV at my home. They're
Right.
going to see me.
Right.
Because I'm on TV time now because the main event went quick.
Right.
So, I know that they were trying to get me out. They didn't want me to mess up his record,
Right.
his first fight.
Right.
So they sent people here watching me and all that, and they knew. They see me in the elevators. How you feel? How you feel? Some of his people, and I feel good. Meanwhile, I'm feeling like I'm good. And they were nervous because of the style that I fought.
Yes.
And they seen how I was working in the gym. But they probably, when they see me there, they probably said, damn,
They sent people to the gym.
Yeah, they had a guy, Stan Hoffman back then, had
Yeah.
Ricky Myers that was in the gym here.
Yeah.
It was, it's a clique.
I know, yeah.
When they have this show, the main guy, Fariello, was, I think his last name was, he passed away years ago, but it was Junior Jones's coach and trainer. And he was, it's a clique in Atlantic City and all that. So anyway, they were trying to bring him up. And they didn't want him to lose his first fight.
Right.
So, in a way, Kevin made it easier for him to win the fight. By telling me to box. I'm not a boxer.
Right.
So he changed the game plan. I'm not, But meanwhile, they were nervous because what I was doing in the gym. I was working with Tracy Patterson. He was my sparring partner, and Calvin Seabrooks, WBC champion. They just lost the title, and. So they were worried, put it that way. I know they were worried.
Yes.
So Kevin made it easier for him by telling me to box. You don't want to box a boxer. If you're a fighter and you want to get inside, you want to be inside and not be on the outside of his where he wants you.
Yes.
Well, Kevin put me on the outside, basically. You want me to box. I'm not a boxer. So what happened is, I'm nervous, and then when the bell rang, I go out there trying to box, move around. It was a glance, some kind of glance, I don't remember, maybe a glance and throw, where, when you're standing up and somebody comes up behind your legs and this goes like that and your legs go down, and you go right back up.
Yes.
That's all it was, like a flash thing. Like your gloves hit. But when your gloves hit the ground, it's a 3-8 count we had.
Right.
So my gloves hit the ground. I said, I'm good, I'm all right. And he goes, oh, and he gave me the 8 count. I said, I'm good. And they wiped my gloves off, said, box. I tried to do it again outside, and it caught somewhere's out. I was more nervous. It wasn't like, it never hurt me. It was never hurt, but it was like nerves,
It was mental, yes.
Yeah, because I was not settled in. But anyway, it went like this, where I just glanced and my gloves hit the ground to keep my balance.
Yeah, right.
The gloves hit the ground, 8 count.
Wow.
I said, I'm all right, I'm good. And I had put my hands right up in front. And so Said, box. One more, you're done. So I would train how I I would like counterpunch in the gym practice. I'd be on the ropes and let you punch and counter, catch it and counter punch and look for an opening, and it gets you a little tired. So I went back to the ropes, get on the ropes, to stay on the ropes and let him throw. As soon as he just started throwing punches on my gloves and hit my gloves, the ref jumps in, gives me an 8 count. You're supposed to stop it.
Right.
So that tells me he didn't see that I was really hurt to give me an 8 count and tell me to go. He knows it's three in a round, it's done. So the way I feel, you didn't really think I was hurt, or you just had to jump in there and give me that 8 count, thinking, it's 3. But yet he said box. He didn't stop it. He said box. And I said, and nobody. So I said to myself, can I curse?
Yes. Yeah.
I said, fuck it. I'm not boxing no more. So I just went right at him, the style that I fight, and come for. I finished the 30-second round, and 30 seconds coming, and he didn't, coming out, and I got my punches off and all, I got the best of him for the 30 seconds.
Right.
He didn't have no. So the bell rings, go back to our corner, and I hear his guys in the corner going, "That was 3, ref. That was 3." So we're going to the corner. You guys, they got a commercial here.
Right.
When you come back, Kevin Rooney's arguing with him, with the situation. So.
Wait, Kevin who?
Kevin Rooney.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah, he was the one in my corner.
Oh, I thought you said it was your uncle.
My uncle was the one that made the match, but my uncle didn't have a license to be in the corner.
Right.
So that's why I had Kevin Rooney with me.
So Kevin Rooney told
was
you
my
to box.
corner. He's the one that told me to box, not my uncle, Kevin Rooney.
Yeah. Okay.
He got all nervous when he seen that. He said, like, wow, yeah, what is he doing with him at this time and all that? I shouldn't have been in here with him at that time. Let me get some fights under my belt and get back into the gym.
Yeah.
So he was like a potential, because he was an up and coming fighter. He went from amateurs right into the pros. I come out of partying right into, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I should have never been in there at that time.
Right.
But they should have never did what they did to me. They were looking to get me out. I know. Any way they can get me out, they didn't want to take a chance. But when they see me boxing like that, they say, "What the hell?" You're probably saying to yourself, "We didn't see that when we seen him."
Yes.
How I was, like I said, Tracy Patterson, at that time, he was already had the title.
Right.
So, and then Calvin Seabrooks.
Right.
And there was other guys in here too that I sparred. I can't remember his name, up in Albany. He was a pro too at the time. I used to go up and spar with him, give him work.
Right.
But I was an aggressive fighter. I didn't box.
Right.
So Kevin made it easier for him to do what he did. Where it might have been a different story. Who knows if I didn't start off that way. And but that was my second fight. So I got two losses in a row right away. You know what that does? Maybe. But I wound up fighting. I had 6 more fights.
6 more. Okay.
I wound up fighting. I wound up going 4-4. I wound up going from 2-0-2. I won my next 3 or 4, and then went back and forth.
Right.
With here and there. But I tried. It was like starting over again. It's you got all the time. You got to start over.
You
again.
lost the momentum.
And then in
plants a seed of
doubt. And it's like maybe it's like no. So I didn't. I stopped.
Yeah. Right.
So it's you don't want to go in there and make someone think that negativities and stuff like that. Maybe I shouldn't be here and all that, but I should have probably went about it a different way, maybe taking some amateur fights, getting into amateur fights, and then going to pro. But I jumped right and pushed myself, because I'm 25 years old, and I'm not fighting for trophies.
Right.
So that's how I thought about it. But you think about that after, maybe I should have did that,
Yes, of course.
And then have the right people making fights.
Right.
Kevin Rooney made the fights after.
Yeah.
Where we, but other than that, I gave it a shot.
Gave it a shot.
No.
Was it difficult for you to put that down? For you to quit?
No, not really. Because I had my son and I was married, so
It's not a big deal to you anymore.
No.
Just something that you just
I
figured.
tried it and that's it.
Yeah.
But maybe if it was started a different way, maybe it would have been different.
Right.
I don't know. But
How do you?
But really, I think it really when I stopped back then, and when the gym broke up, that's when it all,
It's when the
if I would have
opportunities.
stayed in it
Yeah.
and Teddy was here, it probably would have been a different story in the situation with me and some of the other guys.
Yeah,
If Teddy stayed
absolutely.
there, so I don't know. I know, it's you'll never know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. How important do you think, or side tangent before I even get to that, what were the differences, and I think I already know based on what I've talked with Darren about, but what are the main differences you think in how Teddy trained people and in how Kevin trained people? 'Cause I've heard they're very different.
Yeah, Kevin was more like like that squareness.
Yes.
With the square style and that,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
more to,
Right.
that's how he fought. I liked Kevin
Yeah.
back then when I was younger, and I'm a lot younger than him. But
Yeah.
when I looked up to him, I didn't like the way he fought. I didn't
Right.
think the style was too straight and
Yeah.
too predictable.
Yeah.
You can't be square and just be slipping after like a robot.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't do. I kind of, where you slow it down. You don't want to be predictable, like everything. We were told to move after our last punch, move, but move. Either move or get back out of range from the punch.
So
That's
you
how
gotta
I look
train
at
in
it.
a way where you're
That's
unpredictable.
how I look at it.
Yeah.
We were just told to move after our last punch.
Right.
After our last punch, move. And the same idea.
Right.
So I just kind of tweaked things. I kept the base that Teddy and Cus gave me. I still keep the base form and all that, the feet, but I just tweak a little bit of things. That's it.
But what do you think specifically were the differences in how they trained people, though? Because a lot of people, I think that a lot of people out there, they give, Kevin all the credit.
Kevin, yeah.
They give Kevin
Yeah,
all
but
the credit, but Teddy developed.
I like Kevin,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna, because I know I've seen it, and I watched Kevin.
Yeah.
I watched him fight when he fought Alexa Guello.
Yeah.
And that's where I was saying about that predictable timing.
Right.
And he's seen what he was always doing, the same thing. Square, almost like the squareness, same thing. But Kevin, Kevin didn't really show Mike. Teddy developed Mike.
Yeah.
He developed all of us.
Yeah.
Kevin was fighting back then. So
Teddy developed Kevin to an extent, didn't
yeah, he worked. He was in Kevin Rooney's corner.
Yeah.
And developed, Kevin.
he? Right.
But everybody just fights a little different. Kevin picked it up the way he did, and his way he was more predictable to me.
For sure.
So, but Teddy basically showed the same idea, what he had to do, but people just moved and put their own mix. Like, everybody don't fight the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darren don't fight the same.
Yes.
His idol, what he liked, from what I think, I'm pretty sure it was Larry Holmes.
Yes.
What's the difference between
You guys all did
Yeah.
the Cus style.
Just
You fought-
you use certain things to your
yes.
strength, what you
fought
feel.
to your strengths, and
Yeah.
you fought based on what you
But we
want.
all had the basics. We all had our hands up, moving
Yes.
our head and idea of moving after you punch and be ready. Me, I kind of slowed it where be ready to move.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and look like you're not even thinking about moving.
Yeah.
Give it a little head movement and move, and with your hands up, move,
Yeah.
and ready to move, ready. And you can see when the punch is coming. Then
Yes.
you move. Then you'll move.
Yeah.
But you don't want no one, the other, opponent to where he can time you, and then he's gonna say, oh, there he goes again. Yeah. So I told jab. So, but Kevin, like I said, Kevin didn't train Mike.
Yeah.
He just got like thrown in him.
He's the placeholder. He's meant to
Okay,
maintain.
you're next in line.
Yeah.
And that was, all he had to do was keep Mike in the gym and doing the same thing that he's been doing, the moves and
Yeah,
all
that's
that. What he was taught by Teddy,
Right.
which Teddy taught
Right.
Kevin.
Yeah.
But Kevin showed it a little bit different than Teddy. Teddy was more of the aggressive kind of boxer, because they called him the Bulldog. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, his nickname was Bulldog or something. I
Yeah.
think when he
Yeah.
fought Teddy. So obviously a Bulldog comes forward, right?
Yeah.
Comes that. Kevin is more the boxing, moving around. You know, if you look at Kevin Rooney, you know, for how he fought, but like I said, Kevin, it's just like he got it thrown in his lap, and he just had to, you know, keep Mike in the gym, keep him from getting out of trouble, and just staying with the basics.
Right. Okay. So we're talking just a minute ago about how, you know, losing some of those fights, it kind of makes you have doubts in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
How important do you think, see, a lot of people place a lot of emphasis on the physical stuff. They want to learn, you know, the peekaboo style. They want to fight like Mike. They want to, whatever style they want to learn, they're always focused on the physical stuff. How important, though, do you think it is for a fighter to build their confidence based on what you learned growing up?
Cus, Teddy, you got to think positive, never negative, and you got to, you know, have confidence. If you don't have confidence you're in yourself, then you shouldn't even be fighting. Then, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to have confidence in what you do.
Right.
If you don't have confidence, you're already being. You can't do it then.
Yeah.
In my eyes, you ain't gonna be able to do it. You don't, because you're more afraid. You know, like you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have the confidence. Oh, I can't do it. That's where it comes back to. You can't never say can't. It's not a word. Can't. Then you won't have to worry about the confidence, right?
Right.
If I'm saying I can. You know what I'm saying? If you think positive, you can't think negative. So, if you always think negative, you know, well, I don't know.
Right.
It's in boxing.
Yeah.
Because like Mike, he had guys thinking that they weren't. He had them beat before they got in the ring, because they were afraid. They didn't think they were going to beat him, and all that. You know, thinking all that stuff. You know, they didn't have confidence in themselves. Obviously, if that's the case, and they're nervous and scared before they get in there. Mm-hmm. So it made Mike. You know, he already had to fight one before he got in there, because they don't even want to be in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Their knees were knocking as they were going up there, but they had to fight him. And when he was an amateur, because the nationals, he was in national tournaments. You know, what are you going to tell the guys? Oh, I'm not fighting him.
Yeah.
When you're in a tournament and you don't want to fight, your team brings you in.
Right.
So you had no choice.
Right.
I got to fight him. So he had everybody he fought, they already beat before they got in the ring.
For sure.
So all you got to do, nervous, you hit them, that's it. They're done.
Yeah.
Because the nerves.
Yeah, right. So that was one part of the mental aspect that you guys learned. And, you know, you learned that, I'm sure when you learned that,
You gotta stay calm. Yeah,
that was
what we were told
be
calm and relax.
Yeah.
That's the two things you basically got to be: calm and relaxed.
Right.
If you're not calm and relaxed and excited, you'll get tired quicker, and you can't even. I don't know, if I'm just picking myself not being calm and relaxed, and I'm just, you're gonna get tired real quick, and you can't even, you're not gonna be able, it's gonna be more of a arm punches, slaps, and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. And just think of somebody not being relaxed, and they're just all excited and just throwing punches.
Of course.
It's not. So you have to stay calm, relaxed. To this day, I'm more calmer now than I was back in some of the fights now. I can be you. It's here in your head. If you think calm, relax, you can go all day. I don't do nothing all day. I work. I come here. You know what I do.
Yeah.
And so it's and I don't run. You've got guys that run all up and down 10 miles a day and all that, and they can't get. I've seen guys that can't get through 30 seconds of the first round. They're already tired. So running is not the only thing. You can't just run to run. You're supposed to run and think of being calm, relaxed. Your mind, man, it's up in here. What's that? Cus says, I hear so many different stories about 75%, 80% mental, 75% mental, whatever.
Yes.
I don't know which one is which.
Yes.
But I think I heard from Cus and from his mouth. I think it was 75.
Yes.
75% mental.
Right.
And the other 25% is running, sparring, working in here. That's 25%. So majority of it is mental. If you get the mental down, man, you got the battle almost won, right? You got a quarter of it to go. If you can't get a half of the quarter,
Right.
you know, with whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it's mental. Calm and relax, that's it.
Right.
I stay calm and relaxed, I go all day.
Yes. Yeah, right. And you've come in here after being off for quite some time. You used to come in, I remember Adam telling me you come in here, you spar with those guys, and
Yeah, I
you did
used to
pretty
spar,
well, and you were older.
Yeah, I used to have to spar with Fei. When I first got Fei here.
Well, I want to get to that in a second. But when you, how old were you when you came in here and you started working with Adam, and then and you would Adam told me
Adam
that
was way later.
I know
on,
he told me that you would come in and you'd spar, you'd go 10 rounds with anyone. You're almost 50 years old. He told me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm just well. Yeah, I was about figure. Fei was here, what, she's 23, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. It's been 8 years since I got back in this gym after I was out.
Yes.
You know, after we stopped boxing and all that.
Yeah.
I was out. It was 8 years from now, here, that I started coming to the gym. Can't get to that right now, you know what I'm saying? With the,
Yeah, I think I really just wanted to make the point, like,
where,
you were calm and relaxed, even though you're older, you haven't been boxing, but you can still go. You can still go.
It's mental. It's been from when I used to fight.
Yes.
It's being calm, relaxed in the ring here. I can go. It's like already programmed. It's like second nature with your feet. Your feet got to be where they got to be.
I remember when Mike came in here a couple years ago. You're going in with that younger guy, and I was like, he looks pretty good. Remember the I forget the guy's name, but you remember when Mike was here and you had the gloves on? You were kind of just messing around with the guy.
But I think that was like what, 4 years ago?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
So how old
I was
were
like
you?
58.
58.
57.
You know?
Yeah, I don't. Right now, I would love to box in the amateurs, go to amateurs, but I can't because I was pro. Now you can't fight amateurs. You can never fight amateurs because they have masters in the amateurs. You know, masters 50, 60 years old and that, 40s. You know, and you can box.
Right.
I feel if I put myself mind to it, I could box, but I'd have to come in here and do things, sparring, and go and put my mind to it. Where I think I can do it, but the only way I could do anything now would have to be like these things on YouTube. Now go into a or fight somebody that's. First, I'd have to get my license. You know, they'd have to pass me, but if I could pass, I'd have to fight professional, like some of the up-and-coming guys, you know, like maybe a younger guy or... Yes. You know, but I know I could do it if I really put my mind to it because I'm calm and relaxed. I know how to stay calm. This what I tell guys, if you're calm and relaxed here, you know, and do it here, you should be able to do it on the outside. You may have to fight, you know, to be a little bit more calmer and relaxed because you got people looking at you now. Yes. Once you get in here, you get to calm and relax. You got your friends. Now it's nothing. Now you got to go to in front of people. If you go to somebody's gym, they're not coming. You know, you go down there. Now it's like a fight. Yes. You know what I'm saying? The sparring down in somebody's gym. They're not. So you might as well get your mindset as if it's a fight. You're going there. You know, whether you fight in a thing or you go down to a gym or something, it's a fight. Unless something's worked out between the two coaches. Yes. You know, you're working with each other and that. But other than that, it's a fight. You don't get the decision. Believe me, the people around there are going to make the decisions. You know, who's in the gym and all that. You know, so I tell guys that when you go here and go to spar in another gym, you got to think of it as it's a fight. You're fighting. Yeah. Unless we work something out with the coaches. Now you're not supposed to. He's green, so you're a little bit better than him. Just work with him. Just get some work.
But you're always working on that muscle of being calm and relaxed. You're just always working on that.
Yeah.
So now I do want to move to the later years leading up to now. So when did the thought pop into your mind that you wanted to come and train people? Did you even want to train originally, or did you walk in and then made the decision?
I came back later when Fei. That's when I started working with Fei. She was 14 years old. She's 23 now. Mm-hmm. I worked her up until 18, basically.
Yeah. Now, was she here day one?
Yeah, with me. Yeah,
So you walked in and you started working
well,
with her
that's when
day
I
one.
started training again, like working.
Okay.
You know, they would ask about coming to the gym and working with kids, but
Yeah.
there was nothing, there's too much going on now with the community. You know, to come in here and work with kids and have nothing where you can't go and fight, because
Right.
we didn't have to worry about nothing. We had, Teddy took care of everything at Cus. We didn't have to do nothing. So now, to work with kids now, I don't have the money to bring them to fights and all that. I don't have a vehicle to do that. And the community didn't have the, you know, they wasn't putting no money into it.
Right.
So why would I put my time and spend my time working with kids and they don't go nowhere? Is because there's nothing, I can't get them to go anywhere. So I never even pushed my issue to even come in here. So Fei came around years later, which it was like 8 years ago. So I've been in the gym back in the
And
gym.
for those of you who don't know, this is a girl that you trained when she was young.
Yeah,
when you met
14.
her.
She came
14,
from Tennessee.
and then she, you know, she fought using basically your style, the way that you
the
fought.
style, the way I fought.
And then,
but I tweaked it, made it even more better with her.
Yeah.
She's the idea, the idea moving and aggressiveness and all that. But she's more defined with it.
yes,
better.
yes. So
That's
So for those of you who don't know, for the audience that doesn't know, Fei Faiva is your fighter.
Yeah.
She's one of the basically really the only fighters to come out of here in a long
that's really
time.
coming out of the came out of the gym since Mike.
Yeah.
They compared to Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Me and Mike were tight like this.
Yeah.
And when we were younger.
Yeah.
So, and he watched me when he first came here because I was already here before him.
Yeah, right.
About a year, me, my brothers, my uncles, and
Yeah.
so he used to watch me. We used to do things, you know, hung out. So, what I did, I tried to make her better than me.
Right.
You know.
So describe that first day you come in here. Do you remember what made you even stop in that day? You hadn't been in here for so long. Why did you come in?
What do you mean stop? No, I came because she came here.
Oh, so somebody.
Yeah, she came. I talked to a guy up in Canada at the time online. I was talking.
Okay,
and he wrote a book about Cus and Teddy. He was writing a book, and he wanted information about.
Oh, was it
I can't remember his name.
Scott Wise?
Nope.
Confusing the Enemy?
No,
That was the book that he wrote?
He's Canadian. I know he came from Canada.
Right.
He's come down here a couple times. We went and seen Larry Holmes and Joe Frazier.
Right.
They had a thing with them two together at the time. Yeah. And he got information from me with Cus, Teddy, and all that. Talked about the thing, and he's the one that got the girl. He says, "There's going to be somebody calling you," and so that was like years later. About a year later or so. I'm laying in bed and on a weekend, and next I get this text saying, "I'm here. Where are you?" And she's right up the road where I used to live, in a house right on the block here, her and her sister. And so I said, okay, I'll be right down. And so I didn't know it was a girl. I'm thinking I'm going to see a guy, you know.
Yeah.
So I come down on the street and I see it, and they gave me the wrong address. It was a house before, not the one that they gave me.
Yeah.
And so I come up, parked, and I'm waiting. A girl, older girl, like 20 years old, which was her sister at the time.
Yeah.
So comes over to the car. I go, yeah, I'm looking for a fighter. And as she said, after I said that, she goes, yeah, my sister. And she's in a porch there, ran down house. They were renting a room off these people. And I seen her with this big bag, you know, not, you know, when you know, they don't have much, nobody has much. I see my daughters at the time. I said, wow. And she's cute, you know, this like sad face and all that, no, you know. So I said, no, that's okay. Like, because I seen a girl there, right?
Yeah.
Says, no, it's fine. No, it's good. And so I told her, I said, well, I can't go to the gym now. What I have to do is make an arrangements to start going to the gym. I can get into the gym. But I looked at her and I said, well, first of all, you know, I asked her, you know, how'd you find this place? And it was ran down, you know. It's
Yeah.
not like when I was living on it. It was low. That was the lowest house at the time when we lived there, and it was ran down all these years. It's even worse.
Yeah.
I said, first of all, we got to get you out of here.
Yeah.
That's what I told her. I said, I can't. I don't want you living here.
Yeah.
You know, I felt bad for her, and you know, she was like you had to see her when she's big bag, bigger than her.
Right.
And ready to go.
Right.
And I couldn't go. And I said, well, we can't go now. And so we talked, and she back then she would do everything. She'd pick up things quick, real quick. And she'd work hard. And she used to do that insanity thing. Insanity, that workout thing. Yeah. She used to do that after working out, doing a wheelie and then working. She'd go and do that for the.
Well, how did you arrange that first session? So you were
I called her on. What do you mean with that first?
You were saying you couldn't go then, but you wanted to
Yeah,
get
we
her
wound up like a day later. I had to talk, you know, go to the front desk, you know,
Yeah.
the police and that, you know, and get my, you know, so I can get permission to come in.
Yeah.
You know, which I had no problem to get in. I did. So I started then. She was only 14. She just turned 14. She was like a couple of days or a week or so before she turned 14. So basically 14 she came here.
Yeah.
I worked with her up until 18.
So what was that first couple months training with her like, and you know, what was it like trying to figure out how to train somebody for the first time? What was that process like for you?
I basically tried to, you know, try to make her fight the way I, you know, somewhat the way I fight, but I tweaked things where for her, you know, and then she would work hard. She would like, you know, you'd show her something, how to throw a punch and all that, and how to get your body into it. She would go like this and go on the willy and wherever, and just like try to get the arm. She'd really put her mind to it back then when she was younger. As she got older, and kind of that's what happened when you get old. When you get older, some go and want to fight and they don't. So as she got older, you got more of away from, but she
worked very hard when she came in.
Went up until 18.
Yeah.
Then, you know, and they compared it to Mike, female version of Mike Tyson.
Yeah. So you.
And probably if you look her up, you'll see her. You know, I'm sure people know about her.
Of course, people do know. So
But she don't look that way now.
No.
And I have nothing to do with that. The way she looks now, after 18, if you watch her fights from at 8 up until 18, she had her first 4 pro fights. We got it that first year during COVID.
Yeah.
We got her 5 pro fights. We turned her pro at 18.
Right.
And because we couldn't get no fights for her in the amateurs, nobody wanted to fight her. It was like Mike. They wouldn't fight her in the fight him in the amateurs really, unless they went to national tournaments. And she couldn't get into national tournaments because she's Samoan. She was born in Hawaii, and you couldn't fight in the national tournaments to go represent the country, because national tournaments you can represent the country in the Olympics and stuff like that. So that's what a lot of them. So she wasn't recognized as, you know, where she could fight in them. So there was no sense of going to national tournaments. You can't fight in them. And if she wins it, what happens? You know.
And then, to my understanding, she wanted to go pro.
It's because she said, you know, 'cause she worked hard, and then people would turn out, not go to the fights, not show up. We had matches in Madison Square Garden for the Golden Gloves. They never showed up.
Wow.
Yeah. First year, I tried to get her in it, and she had no fights. Mm-hmm. And I called down there, and they said, no, we can't find them the first year. The second year, we signed her up again, and they said, oh, we'll call you, we'll let you know. You don't have to come down for the weigh-in.
Right.
So they didn't want her to come down. They knew of her, and they knew about her before that. People knew about her. They knew about her when they first started. In Dallas, there was a tournament over there, and the people were talking about her then. And then, you know, the girl that won it was in New York. She didn't want to fight her. Yeah,
she definitely is a talent. I remember.
Not now. If you look at her now, it's not that she could be that way, but it's the way she's nowhere near what she used to be.
When I came in, I knew she was talented right away. I remember when I eventually sparred her, she hit like a man. She literally
You
hit like a
you
man.
hit her. You were hitting her too.
But she hit.
You had to. You had no
Yeah.
choice. She don't like anybody. She didn't like anybody going easy on her, and she
Well,
only wanted to spar boys.
Yeah.
And as he was young, she didn't.
She hit like a man, and I've been in. I don't know. I haven't sparred a lot of girls. I sparred probably two other girls my whole life. I sparred with one.
Body shots.
I sparred with one.
I'm telling you, I always told her, listen, you got to go to the body. The body, you're weakening them on the body.
I sparred.
And she used to keep these boys. The boys didn't want to spar no more.
I sparred with one girl who was a junior Olympian. She was really good. I think Fei's on a totally different level, and that's because, like you were saying, you had her train with guys a lot of the time growing up.
She sparred with boys. Never wanted to spar girls.
Yeah.
She didn't spar no girls as an amateur. They were always boys. There wasn't really much girls, many girls that were boxing back then, where that wanted to spar with her anyway. But the ones we went to Albany one time, and when I first got her, and then we were here for a few months. I brought up to Albany to get her first spar with somebody. I sparred with a girl, big girl, maybe 20 at that time. She was 20, and this girl had, looked like she could fight. Well, I told Jarek back then. I said, listen, Jarek, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but she can hit, and she, at that time, and so I don't want nobody to get hurt. So, so he gave this tall girl in her 20s, and Fei's only 14.
Yeah.
And so I go, you're gonna spar that girl over there. He goes, with her low voice, she was quiet. She couldn't get nothing out of her a lot of time. Yeah. She says, Coach, do I have to spar girls? I said, what? Right? I said, what do you mean? You're gonna fight girls? And he goes, but because she told me she wants to be the first one to go and fight boys, fight. I said, that ain't never gonna happen. I don't think I don't see you seeing that. Yeah. That ever happening. Yes. But she said that to me. I said, well, let's just spar this girl and then see what, after. Well, the girl went in there. Fei went right at her and banged her body and first through the whole round. The round got over. The girl didn't want to go another round. And Fei's only 14, and the girl's bigger than her too, taller, like a 20-some-year-old girl. Didn't want to go anymore. So we had her spar with a boy. Yeah. He was a little older, more experienced. He worked with her. He didn't beat up on her, but he even said that, wow, she hits hard. Because, and she never really did go into the head, because I told her, don't always go to the head. You don't want to go to the head. You slow them down. You slow a boxer down. You hit him in the body. You get inside and work that body. And I showed her how to drive that punch to the willy. The willy is what you got to use. Yes. You use that willy. That's what the willy's for. And you get where you get your feet. It starts with where your feet are. Yes. Have your positions, and then be able to put torques in your hip and that, and throw it. And she would, because I used to have to spar with her, because nobody was here to spar with her. Yeah. And I had to put that little suit on, man. At first, I didn't do nothing. I just worked with her without the suit. And then as the weeks and months went on, she cracked my ribs a couple times. Oh, that's how bad it was. I had to put the suit on because she started getting really hard, hitting hard. Yes. So I would use the suit, but yeah, she and then Kyle will tell you, I used to have to spar with her all the time to get her work. So she called me a few times, but I never showed her that she hurt me or anything like that. I don't use headgear. I never use headgear. And so she called me a couple times, and I felt tingles in my feet. That's how
she called me one time pretty good. I was like, wow.
Yeah, so I didn't show her anything, but and Kyle would see things. He would say, she would cheer on. Yeah. Hit him in his liver. Hit him in the liver. Take his liver out. He was. But she could fight back then, and it's just that I don't think. I'm not saying she could never be that way again, but I don't think she wants to fight like that. I don't think she really wants to fight no more. To me, if you did, you wouldn't be, doing the things she does. Things that, where it's just crazy because she could have been like the next best thing that came out of this gym. And I told her back then when she was first started, I said, listen, if you stay here and you work here, you're going to be because Kyle even, that's why, you know, you can come out of this gym and be a female version of Mike. I'm telling you. And this is when she was started, when she was like 14 years old. Just when she's doing things that I told her and hitting the bag. And that when I brought her to somewhere, I said, she ain't got no fights yet? I said, no, I'm developing a little slow. I don't want to rush her. And he goes, well, she can beat half of these girls in the national tournaments that, you know, the guys are telling me. Right. I said, well, I don't want to rush her. She's only been in the gym for 6 months. That's it. I don't want to fight. Now we're doing the sparring and all that. I don't want to put her in a fight set. I want to wait. So when she's done, when she's ready, she's ready. I'm going to feel when she's ready. And so then we, you know, took her slow. But, you know, you can't rush her. You know, I don't want to rush anybody. And, you know,
So I'm about to run out of battery.
Damn it.
We could go on forever. But, yeah. So it was a good interview, though. Maybe we'll do another one in the future. So I guess my last question for you. For anybody that wants to get into boxing, anybody that's thinking about it, what's your best piece of advice for them?
If they want to fight, well, first of all, they have to want to fight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You have to want to do it. You can't just do it because someone's telling you to do it or think about it. Like I asked a lot of guys, and then when they come, I said, "You watch boxing?" No.
Right.
So what you do? Well, how old are you? 18, 19. Okay. What you do? Just wake up this morning and say you want to be a boxer? You know what I'm saying? So you have to want to do it, and if you want to do it, you have to watch it. If you don't watch it, and then like I said, it comes back to you really have to want to do it.
It's a lifestyle, yeah.
If you don't want to do it, you know, you can't just say you want to do it because somebody said, yeah, maybe try out boxing. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be good at it.
Right.
You have to want to do it. It's like anything. To be good at it, you got to want to do it.
Right. Right.
And then want, you know, and go along with everything that goes along with it. Work. You got to work. Want to do it is saying that you want to do it. Get you know, I want to box, and now you got to do what it takes to do it. You know, want to do everything it takes. You know.
Right. All right. Well, it was a good interview. Maybe we'll do another one sometime.
Yeah. I'll get better at it. You know.
So George and I are in the gym. If anybody wants to come and visit, you can work with George personally here at the gym. The gym's open 5 nights a week usually. So yeah, good interview. Good time.